Asset quality review is an exercise done by Reserve Bank of India in the sense that earlier they used to come to each of the bank and based on the bank's position of the NPAs, they used to give their comments. This time there is a difference. They have done it industry wise as a whole. So they have identified the account which may be good with us, maybe as per the RBI guidelines standard with us, but may not be as RBI guidelines standard with some other bank, or some issues like the DOC is not achieved in time, or something else has not come, some condition is not complied with, and the DCCO might not have been achieved in full and proper achievement, etc. So based on that internal study of RBI, they have identified certain accounts and told every bank that as an early signal identification of NPA. They feel, RBI feels that there is a very distinct possibility that those accounts might face a problem going forward. So they want banks to make provision and cleaning of the balance sheet right from the December 15 quarter. And as a result of that, they have identified accounts for each of the banks. And similarly, they have done it for our bank also, like all banks. You have been seeing the results of all banks. So like that, they have done it for all the banks, which are many of the accounts are common for all banks. Few of the accounts are exclusive to our bank. For our bank, such account is very, very small in number and amount. Amount wise is very small. Number wise also is small. But the account which are in the common for all banks are quite few. But what we have done is to add strength to the balance sheet of the State Bank of Hyderabad. Whatever they have told us to make provision in 2 quarters, that is in December and in March quarter. To be prudent, we have made the entire requirement of their provisions. We have made the provision this quarter itself in the month of December. So entire provisioning requirement of this asset quality review is being done by us, so that March quarter we may not have any problem from the Reserve Bank of India asset quality review provisioning. Apart from that, we have made certain additional provisions which is not required by any guideline as of now, but in view of the overall stress which is developing, we thought that certain extra amount of provision will add strength to the balance sheet of the bank. That is why, although our NPA has increased, our PCR is still at 61, which is a very satisfactory level of coverage, which is an indication of the strength of the bank. This provision will not be reflected in the next quarter. The excess provision is almost triple, 3 times almost than the year on year last December figure, which is as against 225, we are made around 630. There is no other reason. In fact, had we not made the excess provision, which I am talking about, our profit would have been around 350 crore. Compared to 334 crore provision which we have made 1 year before in December 2014, our profit would have been 5% more than the last quarter had we not made any extra provision. But we thought that giving the strength is more important, that's why we have made the provision and took a hit on the profit. In the RBI identification, we have added NPA of around 853 crore. And made a provision of around 244 including the interest reversal and the provisioning. We have made 244 crore of provision and 853 crore of NPA is added as a NPA. This quarter we have done I think 8 accounts.
Totally 15.
And next quarter we will add 7 accounts. Total is the 15 accounts. Well, the startups basically is more commonly financed by the PE funds and venture capital funds and not by the banks primarily. So far as the banks are concerned, there are securities like CGT MSE has got a coverage of security for the smaller startups and smaller units. Other than that, whatever the project is bankable as per our assessment, we finance them, there is no problem. There is nothing as such specific. If the project is bankable and viable, then we do finances as a part of the banking project. I don't think when we treat the project as viable, there is a need of provision. Because it is startup, there will be a provision. I think that is not the correct concept. If the project is viable, if our assessment is correct, then the startup may not become a non-performing asset going forward, and I don't think there will be any additional provisioning requirement. See, it's a very dynamic situation. As you know, the economic development also are coming out with rapid changes. As you can see even in the share market, the movements are quite sharp and unpredictable. So under that's the kind of a situation, I think the prediction is not the proper way of doing it. However, our plan is that whatever is the sudden spot in the provisioning as per the RBI requirement, we have taken care of that and kept it behind us in the December quarter. So we hope and dream and expect that in the March quarter, this will be free from all other issues like AQR, additional provision and things like that. It will be just like the last year March sort of. So we do not expect anything additional problem in the next quarter. So in one word, if you ask me, then probably next quarter will be, or this quarter rather, January to March quarter will be a good quarter in respect of profitability. I presume you are talking about profitability. I am talking about profitability.